Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly Truth. I'm your host, The Good. As always, want to just welcome you all to the show. Want to say that I hope everybody's having a pleasant day, whatever time of the day you're listening to this. Pleasant day, pleasant evening, pleasant night. If it's your first time listening, go ahead and follow the show, share the show, and let somebody else hear this. Because tonight just want to speak on one thing. You heard me say tonight. It is night. I'm actually headed to work, and go ahead and get my day. This is my day. I work night, so this will be my day. So I wanted to talk about not necessarily superheroes, but the things that are the things that come with being that. What made me want to talk about this? I'll get there. I was watching a show yesterday, and I've been watching this show for a few years now, and I pretty much just got caught up last night. And the name of this show is Black Lightning. Now, for those of y'all who don't know never heard of that show, it's a really good show. It's if you ever heard of Superman, Flash, Aquaman, things like that, the DC Comics, Black Lightning is just another character in the DC world. What the show is about is it's about a man, in particular a black man, and I know you're like, why does that matter? Because that's pretty much the whole premise for the show. He's a black man, has a family, 2 daughters, and a wife. He has the power of electricity, in every form, shape, fashion that what electricity can do, he can do it. He discovered his powers at a young age when he witnessed his father being murdered in his own house, and he witnessed it. He was in the room under the bed, and he witnessed his father being murdered. And so shortly after, his powers came, and he pledged to become a hero or someone who would stop crime, but not necessarily that. His whole reason but the main reason he did is to get revenge on the man who killed his father. And so in the process of building himself up to do that throughout his years, again, he discovered his powers at his early teens. But in this show, he is a grown man with, like I said, with a family and everything. So he's probably in his 40s, late 40s or something like that. So building himself up, in the meanwhile, he's fighting crime in his city. And a lot of the crime is due to the man that killed his father. Now, this man that killed his father, he also has superpowers. So his powers cause him not to age. So this man was the same age he was when he killed Black Lightning's father. And not only him, the entire show is about meta-humans and humans with powers. A lot of them were born with these powers, and a lot of them were given powers artificially. And that's pretty much the whole show. They're trying to fight against metahumans and try to rise up, or they're trying to save them, and some of them are trying to kill them. That's pretty much what the whole show is about. But and more in depth, the show it's a very good show. If you haven't seen it, go and watch it. It's just a very good show. They deal with a lot of political thing that has gone on recently with especially in the black community. This show deals with it. and but they try to show it in a different light. They try to show it from all perspectives, which is what I like. And what I also like is, like I said, it's a DC comic, so it implements other DC characters in the show, and it's pretty. And I like that with any movie, any comic world. I like that when they cross characters into other shows. I always like things like that. So they do that in this show as well. And on top of that, me being a musician, the music, oh man, the music is outstanding, guys. I mean, you have to watch the show. If not for anything, just to listen to the soundtrack. The music time frame is anything from like the late 50s till now. And they're very selective with the music, but it fits the show. And guys, if you're into like Marvin Gaye and Teddy Pendergrass and Al Green and Sam Cooke and just all of those, all the greats in that era from the 50s all the way till the 70s and even some 80s and 90s and millennial artists, you will love this show. But it's more of an old school feel. But I didn't come to talk about all that. I come to talk about the superhero in general. Now, I watched an episode last night, and Black Lightning, his daughter, is also now a superhero. This started like a few seasons ago. They discovered they had powers as well. So his gene passed through, the children passed to the children, and they have superpowers. His oldest daughter has the power of thunder, and her name is Thunder. And his youngest daughter has the power of pure energy, lightning, whatever energy is, she has the power of pure energy. She can absorb it. She can make things out of nothing. Her power is probably greater than a lot of the other metahumans. But last night's show, the show that I watched last night, the daughter was upset. She was about to give up being a superhero because it seemed like everything that she did to help, it made things worse on this end. So it's like you heard the phrase, I take, two steps, step forward just to go two steps back. Basically, that's how she felt. She was like, I'm not doing any good, when when it seems like I'm doing good, I'm actually hurting someone or something somewhere else. So she was like, I just got to give this up. And so Black Lightning, he comes in there and he talks to his daughter and just talks to her and tells her about the time he witnessed his father dying, and he basically got to the point to say to her, you do more, the good deeds that you do, it stretches farther than you can see. You may not see it, but it is has a ripple effect, and it's affecting somebody in a positive way. And then she winds up smiling and winds up, she had the little watch and it has her suit in it. And she took the watch off and her father grabbed the watch and handed it back to her. She took it as saying, okay, I'll continue to be a superhero. And then she winds up saying, to close the scene, being a superhero sucks. And she laughs, the father laughs, and that was the end of the scene. So that's why the title of the show is Superheroes. It sucks to be a superhero. If you just look at other comics and other superheroes, even some of your favorite, just think of your favorite superhero. A lot of people will say Superman. He's another DC comic. Through just if you've ever watched a Superman movie, I've watched all of them. I'm a 80s baby, so I watched the original ones with Christopher Reed and, ones with Richard Pryor and all that in it. And he was out doing, saving and doing good. But it seemed like the more good he did, someone was on this end slandering his name. Another person I could think of is Spider-Man. Now, if you've never seen Spider-Man, I like Spider-Man. It's more comical. He's out saving and being They giving him this name Vigilante, and I'll get to Batman in a minute. And he's out actually trying to help people. But you got the head of the Bugle News, the CEO, the head of the Bugle News, who's always slandering Spider-Man's name in the newspaper, saying, "Oh, he's a menace to society," and he's a funny character anyway. He's a menace to society, blah blah blah. And so, but Spider-Man's out here saving, being good, and but a lot of people didn't know. There's a phrase that says no good deed goes unpunished. So in that sense, a lot of those superheroes, their good deeds are in a sense being punished because they have to deal with the good and the bad that comes from doing some good, right? um Batman, he's been labeled as a vigilante. He goes about seeking street justice, basically. He spider Batman's whole thing for becoming who he was is to get revenge as well, because he's seen his parents murdered, and so his whole drive or motivation is that, and so um, he's he's out catching bad guys because he's angry. And in the process, he winds up stopping a lot of things, bad things, murders and robberies. You know, that's fortunate that he's stopping that, but that's not his goal. Is to stop them from doing a bad thing. It's just because he's angry and he sees that, okay, these are bad people. And I'm just gonna go and do some, not necessarily bad to them, but I'm just gonna be there to let them know, hey, I'm here. You're not finna just be out here acting crazy. So I'm finna, you know, get you, type thing, So, but he winds up being labeled a hero by a lot of people, and a lot of people just a vigilante out just doing his own thing. So, in that sense, being a superhero sucks. To only be given to be doing something right, and and only getting scrutinized for it. Now, where am I going with all of this? Y'all might be asking, where am I going with all of this? Here lately, I have been thinking about, doing, quote unquote, giving up, so to speak, right? And, because just life can't get you down. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. There could come a time. There has been a time in your life you're like, man, I quit. I give up. And I think we all have been there. Now, the difference would be whether that person gives up or just lays, or they just say it and they just kind of give themselves a little time and they get right back on it. That's pretty much what I have done, have always done. I just never gave up because there's something in me that just won't let me just really say I'm done with this, so to speak. But I have been feeling that way. And you're probably saying now, so what does a superhero have to do with you? Um, I'm getting there. I'm not saying I'm a superhero by no means. I'm not saying that at all. But just like I gave you the story about the Black Lightning's daughter who had affected a lot of people in a positive way, I have talked to and continue to talk to a lot of people who have inspired me to talk or to say things or to just continue to do what I'm doing, because like I said, at times I feel like giving up on this, my music, this podcast, just everything I've been doing. I'm like, man, it's just, and then just other personal things. I'm like, man, you know what? I'm tired. And when I watch that show, it's I don't think things are coincidences. Things happen. Like, I so happened to, because I wasn't even going to turn the TV on last night. I was at work. I was going to do some work. Hey, y'all, I see y'all down there. Hi, everybody. Hey, Coltrane. Hey, Chris Unplugged. I was going to just do some work on my computer and on my laptop and schoolwork. And I had a billion other things to do, but I just wasn't in the mood. So I just decided to just sit back. I wound up watching some Olympics. And then I wound up turning on Netflix and watching Black Lightning. And then that show came, and then that episode came on, and then that scene. And I was like, wow, 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 wow. And it's like I know that, but we tend to forget things at times, And I shouldn't forget that because I know better, if I can say that. There's a scripture. Now, if y'all don't know my show, I try to relate everything back to the God's word because that's the best, the motivation, everything you need. And even though we know it, even though I do know it, I still, life is real. He even tells us that your life is going to get so real to where you're going to, at times, forget this or forget that. But just know it's still here. Remember, I'm still with you. There's a scripture that says in Galatians chapter 6 and verse 9, it says, don't be weary or don't be discouraged or don't be weary in well doing, because in due time you shall reap a harvest of good things if you do not give up. Basically, um, I thought about that, and it kind of went with the Black Lightning episode last night. I was like, wow, 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 wow. And I've read that scripture many times, but it's we forget things. So just like the episode, that young lady was ready to give up being a superhero. She was like, I give up, Dad. She was like, you've helped more people than you realized. Somebody needs you. There's a quote, I seen a quote, and it said, to the world, you may be nobody, but to the world, you may not be someone, but it says to the world, you may not be someone, but to someone, you may be the world. And I was like, wow, I like that. I really like that. And it made a lot of sense. She was ready to give up. She said being a superhero sucks because she just was tired of taking two steps forward to taking a step forward to only feel like she's taking two steps backwards. And that's how I've been feeling. But with all that being said, when I see people on here, how you doing? Brandy Nicole, I believe that's how you say it. Hey, Brandy Nicole, Coltrane, and just a lot of y'all, Chris Unplug, Lou Rock and Kim and Torch and all of y'all. There's so many I can just go down the list. And when I talk about, when I talk and I'm in different podcasts and I'm talking to y'all, a lot of times I'm not saying anything, but I'm listening to y'all, and y'all give me inspiration, or y'all are keeping me driven. Y'all keeping me going, and to where I just say, what, I really can't. Again, like I said, I'm not a superhero. I don't um I don't um say that I'm a superhero. Yes, Chris, I seen you, man. I really do appreciate you. I'm not saying I'm a superhero. I'm not saying that at all. But again, to someone I might be. To someone I might be. To someone I might just be that person. Like, if it wasn't for him saying what he said last week or whatever, I probably would have did something very bad. I would have, so it's those little things that should keep one going. It's those little things that should keep me going. And it's those little things that I will try to remember to keep me going. It does suck. But again, Galatians 6 and 9 says, don't be weary in well doing. In time you will reap a harvest if you do not give up. And it's not that I'm looking to reap anything. It's not like I'm looking to get something from y'all. It's not like I'm want to reap, I'm putting these seeds into y'all so that it can grow for me. It's not even that. I just do things genuinely to help people, and but if I'm looking at that in that way, then maybe that's what it's talking about. Maybe it's saying you're going to reap that. you helping people, and it's going to show, and they're just gonna carry that on, and they're gonna help people, because that's all I want to do. I don't want to. I'm not looking for anything in return. But the fact that y'all do give me, or talk to me, or inspire, and we inspire each other, it's like, that's it. Like, that's it right there. Those are that, people say the flowers, those are your flowers and things. That could be it right there. You know what I'm saying? So I try to remember not to be weary in well doing. I'm going to remember that, and move forward positively and applicably, and apply what I need to apply to my life to continue to be that, because giving up is really not an option, although I may feel like it. I have a child, and I can't show that to him. I can't show him that giving up is an option. I just posted a video on my YouTube, and I'm not YouTube, on my IG and Facebook, of him. He made a video of himself, guys, a movie trailer of him playing basketball, and it was so good, guys. If you have my IG, go check it out. If you have my Facebook, go check it out. But it was so good, and just the cinematic look and the music, and he's playing basketball, and he's I think he called it the rise, the king rises, or dark king rises, or something like that. But it was so powerful, it was so touching. And then the words he put in there, I will rise, it's my turn to shine, and all that stuff. I'm like, that's pretty cool. And so I don't have time to give in or give up, because he has much farther to go, and he has so many things ahead of him. And I have to show him when times like this happen, or what, because they're going to happen to him. I gotta be able to say, hey, you remember that time, or did I ever show you that, or whatever it needs to be. So I can't show him that, so I have to continue to move forward. Now I'm going to get ready to end the show, but I'm going to go back and read some of y'all's comments, because I really enjoy reading y'all's comments. Brandon Nicole said, what are we talking about? And I titled it Superheroes Suck, and I'm sure you heard me explain why. Brandon Nicole said, I needed to hear what you're saying. And see, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Um, Chris Unplugged, thank you for coming by. You said, did you see the first? Okay, yes, I did. Are you trying to say you're blessed with skill? like we all are. Okay, yeah. Again, like I said, I'm not saying I'm a superhero at all. I'm not saying that. But I do realize the things that God has put inside of me, and but a lot of times I forget those things, and I know I'm not living up to the things that my full potential, because of life. I do realize that, and I know it's not tooting my own horn. It's not tooting your horn for you to know what you are capable of, or your value. I understand what I have inside of me, and I'm not using it to its fullest potential. And you want to call in? Okay, go ahead. All right.
Hello.
Are you in? Hey, how you doing?
Hey.
All right, all right. Go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I'm going to make this quick because I don't have very much
It's
time.
okay. It's all right.
Sorry. Let me let this dog. Um, you sound a lot like how I used to sound, and I still sound. And you're going through the same things I have. I have suffered with low self confidence, and I don't have an education, and I uh, I came from a very rough background. Now I own two businesses, and I'm 35 years old. This all happened in a year, and I quit my job. But
Oh, that's great.
yeah, I mean, I had a really rough background, and I didn't believe in myself. And I'm pushing myself every day to do better and to take time. My advice is just every day try to be better than the day you were
And it's
before.
funny you say that, because that is my bit. I'm a co-owner of a business, and that's our motto. And I tend to forget that myself.
My motto is let the beauty of what you love be what you do.
Oh, nice. I like
Yeah,
that.
I and I I'm white. I was raised by a black man, and his last name was Kindred. And my company is called Kindred and Savvy. And I just had my biggest event ever. I'm a designer, and I worked so hard for this event, and I was a sponsor of it. Long story
Okay.
short, I made 400 items for this social media content creation group out of Orange County. And I felt so underappreciated. I spent so much money because when you sponsor, into swag bags, that comes out of your pocket. And
Right.
I'm not like these other companies. I just started. I make everything by hand. I can't afford yet to hire employees, so it took me 2 weeks to make these monogrammed wine glasses, earrings. I mean,
Right.
all night long. And I go to the event. It goes great, and these girls that are the content creation group, and I won't say their name, I'm under a contract with them, but they made me feel like, because these girls, keep in mind, these influencers that are online, they get free shit, or excuse my language, free stuff all the time from people. And, they all, I worked my butt off for this event, and it was great. It was a huge event. I got great content. If you look at my Instagram, you'll see it. But I still didn't feel good enough after that. And I was like, why do I feel this way? And it was because I needed validation from other people, and you don't need validation from anybody but yourself. And yes, sometimes we don't make the best mistakes in reality. The best decisions. In reality, sometimes we do things without thinking things through a lot of the time.
Exactly. You're right. And yeah,
Like, I should have looked at it like I was being used for my product, because these girls find sponsors like myself that have boutiques that are just starting out and host these events, and they get first, everything's free. And I felt so
yeah.
stupid that came out of my pocket. I worked with these girls for weeks, and they all go out to eat afterwards after these events, and didn't even invite me and a few of the other girls that were there.
Yeah, I can see how that would make you feel like I was used and all those things. Yeah, and if you feel that way, you can go about it how you want. You can address it or whatever the case may be. But if you just getting those vibes, um, you can,
I'm too nice of a person. Like, I
I
will give
got you.
I will give the shirt off my back to anybody. And I don't do things and expect things in return, but I do believe in respect. And I have let that bother me so bad to the point where my relationship is now being affected by it. And it's just that I'm so worn out from working so hard to just feel like these girls used me. And it's
Right,
400 items was a pain in my ass. And I did it.
right,
I couldn't believe I did it. Like, if anything, I should be like, it was a learning lesson. Don't look at it as you didn't get invited. So
exactly,
sometimes you got to look at some things that you may not feel like you did that great at, and you could have done it better, but God had you go through that exact situation for a reason.
exactly, yeah, exactly. We just got to remember those things, and we just keep moving. If these people don't mean you well, they will be removed out of your life.
Well, and I try to be good too. I'm obsessed with my work now, and I'm not a good partner, and I feel really bad. Like, I've been neglecting, but that's what happens. If you want to be with somebody that's successful, you got to be prepared to be with someone that's busy.
Right.
So,
All right now. I'm sorry about that,
no, you're
but
good.
I hear you. I hear you. I tell you what. I want to follow. You said you have a do you have an
Yeah,
IG and all of that?
yeah, I'm sending it now because my spouse. You know why I get on Podbean? Because I feel like I can't talk to anybody in my real life, because as an entrepreneur, a young entrepreneur, I just sent it. It's Instagram.
Okay.
I,
And that's mine. That's mine. The Striving to Perfection Entertainment on IG. That's our business page. And I also have my personal one, and I'll send that to you also once I connect with you and everything. But I would definitely like to stay in contact with you.
yeah, I do content creation.
Cool.
And
We could probably help. You could probably help me with with that and everything. So cool. Very,
Yeah, it was
very
nice
cool.
to talk to you, and I'm gonna get off the phone, but I just wanted to say, keep your head up. It gets better. Just don't be so hard on yourself.
Thank you very much for those words. I really do appreciate it.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you, and you're welcome on my show anytime.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much. All right, you have a good night. All right, all right, guys. That was Brandy Nicole. Y'all heard the words, and she sounds like a very beautiful soul. And that's what it's all about. Me, genuine people, and just we be here for each other, encourage one another, and things like that. But guys, I gotta get out of here. I gotta get to work. But like I said earlier, just remember my our motto, um, just to be better than you were yesterday, and we'll just keep striving. The name of our company is Striving to Perfection. We just got to keep striving and keep getting better. Also, don't be weary in well doing. It's something I have to remember myself. So I love you guys. It's been another episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly Truth. God bless. Love you.